Okay, so we're going to be doing the Wi-Fi config and IP address. All right, and so we'll just start from the top here. The Wi-Fi SSID and password are only configurable through the front panel of the controller, and this box right here says the SSID and password are not configurable using the web app. That is correct for now. In the future, if you're watching this in the future, that might have changed. So, but for now, it's just configurable through the front panel. All right, and this little blurb right here, I'm not gonna read it to you. It just tells you how to get to the config menu where the Wi-Fi config is, and I'll just show you. So you just hit the knob button one time. Okay, that pulls up the main menu, and then we'll cursor down to the config. Okay, you can see the cursor in the config, hit enter, and that pulls up our Wi-Fi configuration. Okay, and so scanning for Wi-Fi routers. The default, the cursor will be under the SSID, and to initiate the scan, you just turn the knob. So you can see the cursor blinking right here under the MUX of the SSID, and you just turn the knob. You'll see it's scanning for Wi-Fi, and now it's picked up another Wi-Fi router. There's guests, there's neighbors, there's all kinds of stuff in here, and here's the test one. So this is one of our test Wi-Fi SSIDs. This is actually 31 characters, although the LCD can only display about 25 of them. 31, by the way, is a max SSID length that you can that the controller will support. So once you select the SSID, then you go to setting the Wi-Fi password. Okay. So using the cursor buttons, it just tells you how to get down to the password, and let's just do that. Okay, so we're just going to use the down cursor. You can see it's under T right there, and so you can just start scrolling T U V W X Y Z, and then do whatever you want. Okay, and we'll just send it back to T because that is the password. And PQRS. I have to sing the song A, B, C. Anyway, yeah, so that's how you change it. And you can cursor over to different parts right here. You can see now it's under the E if you just want to change something there. Okay, and it says setting a position to blank deletes the letter, and that's kind of important. So if you come over here to the 3 and you don't want the 3, you can just scroll until you get to the blank, and that brings us actually to the next section actually. This is the Wi-Fi password char map, or char stands for characters, and so we're at, let's see where we're at. We're at the 3, right? So if you come in here and look for the 3, which is right here, 3, and we want to get to the blank, which is this way. And this is actually a very good example. So if you scroll forward, you're going to have to scroll all the way up and down, all the way through these guys, and then all the way back to the top until you get to the blank. Or if you look at this little map right here, you say, okay, well, I'm on 3. Well, I just need to scroll backwards a little bit, right? So you can just scroll backwards until you find the blank. There it is, right? Yeah, right after the exclamation mark. Yeah, okay. So we're just going to put it back on 3, because that is the password. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then when you're done, make sure to press Save Enter. This is very important. Save Enter. Okay, and then it's going to ask to reboot. Now you have to remember my toggle switch doesn't work right here, so I have to boot or power it from the back right here. Okay, we're going to power it back on. It's going to boot up. Okay, we're going to turn on the panel light, and they're going to hit the knob button again to pull up the menu. We're going to scroll down to the config, hit enter, and there you go. Ta-da! We're on a 31 character SSID. And that's it. Okay, and on the next page of the Wi-Fi config and IP address continued, I just want to go over some of the security settings. The Wi-Fi security settings for the Muxall Pro are WPA2-PSK with AES encryption. Okay, and it says the Pro BBQ controller must be turned off and then turned on, rebooted after the Wi-Fi is. Yeah, we just saw that. Okay, and then the IP. Oh, by the way, so this IP address right here that we just got is the IP address that you plug into the web app. Okay, and I'll show you that in another video. But this plugs into your web browser's address bar. Okay, so you just plug that in there and hit enter or go or whatever, and it will pull up the web app. So, and this is where you get the IP address from. So if you want to access the web app, you have to come to this screen, get the IP address, pop it in the web app. Okay, and this pro tip down here is for those of you that know to set up static IP addresses. But you can you can set a static IP address in the Muxall Pro BBQ Controller web app in the config tab, and I'll show you that in another video. But you have to remember that needs to also be set in your router. You cannot just provision a static IP address in the controller without telling the router that it's a static IP address. Okay? That is it this time.
Don't forget, you can support the Muxall Open IoT channel by donation using a credit card and PayPal, or by purchasing products at the Muxall store.